Hope you had a great day. It was a very interesting day in the stock market. The volatility was insane. It was difficult to play. It absolutely was not what I was expecting. What I thought was going to happen at the open, I believed we were going to gap up and fill this gap that we had left yesterday, and instead we had this slow melt down to the bottom. You can see this on the 5-minute chart. You have this slow decrease right here, but if you're day trading and you understand your support and resistance lines, one thing that you could have identified is yesterday's low was right here at 450. Yesterday's low was 443.47. So if you look at the 443.47, that's the area where you would expect us to test the low and have these little tweezers right here. These tweezers are usually an indication that we're about to make some kind of a move. So when you look at the 5-minute chart, what I noticed right about 11 o'clock, I noticed that we were forming this little trend line. So what I did on my chart is I drew a line going across like that. Now what you want to do is, your support line is at 443, and that 443.50 is right there. We know that's the support line because that's what our low was yesterday. So as you see the price action happening throughout the day, what you want to do is wait for a moment where you break above that trend line. If you don't draw that trend line in the correct place, what you end up happening is you end up buying a little early or buying a little late. But if you understand your support and resistance levels, then you know that 443.50 is your strong support. You draw your trend line, and when you break above your trend line, that's when you know this is about to happen. And it did. It was a really nice day buying for the second half of the day, and then a little bit of a sell-off at the end of the day. The little bit of a sell-off doesn't concern me very much. I still think that tomorrow we move up to close this gap right here at 451.31. That would be the expectation. We finished over the 20-day moving average. To me, this chart looks very, very bullish. We had this long run. You had your 1, 2, 3 ABC pattern, bouncing off the 20-day moving average. It's where we expected. It's not where I wanted. I didn't want to go lower than this, but what I want doesn't matter. We went all the way down to the 20-day moving average, closed above the 20-day moving average. This is a very, very bullish chart. On the Nasdaq, we still have this big gap to fill right here. Tomorrow, what I would expect is to fill that gap at 360, and I would expect some solid resistance at 361.40. Resistance, if we go to the bottom, I would think that we'll bounce right off of that 50-day moving average at 349.34. That would be what I would expect the bottom to be, and first line of resistance, of course, tomorrow will be 352, which will be the 20-day moving average. I do expect a bullish day tomorrow with a move up and filling this gap right here. On the Russel, that's the index that concerns me the most, because we did hit a very, very major support line at 196.80, and if we drop below that, there's not very much holding us from going back down to retest the low of the year. The Russell is still in correction territory. It's down 18% for the year, or 18% from its high, so we can't afford to let it drop. We really needed to get above this 50-day moving average. My suspicion, tomorrow we're going to move up, close this gap at 203.05, and probably have the resistance at 203.74. That's about the short of the market. One thing I did want to show you guys, that's the Russell. There's my sell right at the very top. But on the 5-minute chart of the ES, we have right here, that's where I drew my trend line. Right there. That's where I drew my trend line. I tend to buy early. I always tend to buy early. And my indicator there on buying early was it was reaching the buy point that I had, and it dropped below the bottom Bollinger Band. Once it drops below the bottom Bollinger Band near where my buy point is, I bought right there. It retested the low, went a little lower than where I bought it, and there it goes. Now I got out a little early. The reason I got out is because it touched the top Bollinger Band. I got out because I like profits. That was a $200 move for me, but it continued to go up. Again, if you know your support resistance lines, it's going to make you a much more profitable trader. So keep in touch on the chats, and if you don't understand where the support resistance lines are on a specific specific ticker that you want to see, just go ahead and ask us on the chat. We're always willing to help. We're always willing to work through your positions. If you enjoyed the content, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends and your family, and we will see you at the Haikhuu chat.